Hey friends, trying my hand at a little bit of vlogging. I'm down in my basement, which I like to call my warehouse space for my studio. I just keep some extra things down here that I don't use all the time. It's a fun, quiet space, but it is a basement, so. I started taking a sign language class, American Sign Language, ASL. And we just learned last week, 3 different ways of saying, what? What? The informal what? Or the formal what? But the fun one was when you're like, what? Is taking the W right into a T and going, what? What? And that sign is just so perfect for the month of October 2023. It's like, what? It's October 29th? I can't even. I just can't even. I wanted to make this vlog post because it's been a very emotional kind of roller coaster month where I couldn't really record a lot of content because the month was 100% all about family, and family always trumps any kind of YouTube content. And I say that with respect and love. I basically became caregiver times 2. So I had another family member that I had to help out. And, I had some geographically distant family members who were helping what they could over the phone for emotional support and friends and all that. But while YouTube content and editing stops, that's sign language for stops, the creativity and the art helped me manage my mental well-being, because I know I always say, laugh at life's colorful blessings, one creative idea at a time. That doesn't mean I'm always laughing. I've had some rough spells, some exhausted and crying spells, and really came to appreciate how mindless doodling or using stencils to just really be in the space of no thought, how important that was. I really came to appreciate it, and wanting, of course, to help share that message, because what we do in our art journals or in our creative space, why we take the time to do that, because what we do there helps us out there in the real world. Because if I didn't have time to decompress, or as I might say, drool on myself, it's part of the toolbox of being a caregiver and coping with these emotional stresses. So yes, family, support group, therapists, coaches, anybody that you have in your circle is important, but that me time and my space to quiet, so important. So I kind of wanted to do a walkthrough of some of the things that I created during these emotional times. Just share them with you, because there is no footage. I never took the time to capture content. It was really using the tools for what I use them for. I have a bag full of goodies. I don't even know how. I know how to start. I know how to start. My little leather journal that I carry with me everywhere. This is so helpful, because when you are in these emotional moments, it's so easy for the days to blur by and to not remember what happened when. And this became, because I love its little size, I was visiting my friend Lisa, right? And we stopped at an H Mart, you know, one of these Korean markets, and they had an art box shop within it. And oh, I love this little art box shop. But I got these little clips. It's a paper clip, but it's in the shape of the word love. I added that on there. This became so important because it's just writing. And most times it was either late at night or first thing in the morning. It's just the date on top, and it was a review of what happened the day before, or if I was lucky to have time during the day to capture and write down what was happening. Yeah, I was just rereading this before starting the video, and it's like, oh my God, why do I even question why I was so tired, or exasperated is a good word. When I read back, I go, oh man, you know. So essentially I have a family member that needed a procedure, and a pretty serious kind of operation, and where it was supposed to be an overnight stay and la-di-da, it turned into a week stay in a hospital which is about an hour away from me. So managing my life and incorporating and embracing that, and my caregivers can appreciate, you know, what doctors say and what actually happened aren't always the same thing. And, you know, frustrations and anger, and not only dealing with my own emotions, but the whole entire family's emotions, and being the point person. And the hospital assuring me that they were going to keep me abreast of things while she was in surgery didn't always happen. And where we thought she was in surgery for like 4 hours, she was only in surgery for 40 minutes. I think you can understand how that can play with emotions. Let me show you. All right. A shout out to Diane Reevely. Her style of art journaling really spoke to me. So during this month, I've bought one of her blank journal covers. Dialogue, I think, is the name of these covers. And I painted it myself. I've done this most recently within the past week, not in the middle of the chaos. But it now holds the one journal that I've been working in for some years. And the you know how hospitals like to call you the night before to let you know what time surgery will be? Yeah, the next day. We had to be at this hospital at 5 a.m. This hospital that's an hour away, and this family member was a half an hour from me. And anyway, I tried my best to go to sleep early that night, but I was up at 1 o'clock, couldn't fall asleep. Why would I? I had to leave my house at 3 to be at her house in time to get her down to the hospital. When they took her in to prep her, finally, I was trying to keep an eye open in the waiting room before they called me back to be with her. I sat and did this sketch here, which was basically, I had been going through Pinterest. I'm going to have to redact that there. Basically went on Pinterest and was looking at different mixed media samples, and I saw this one, and it's not exact, of course, but it helped me doodle. It helped keep me distracted. It helped the time pass. There are other doodles in there. What else helped me? Let's see, was there? No, that was after the fact. After the fact. The following day, right after the craziness of her procedure, luckily I was able to sleep in. I mean, there really was no not sleeping in because up at 1 a.m. and not back home until about 9:30 at night. Yeah. But after checking in at the hospital and making sure she was okay and talking to her, I gave myself time. And I pulled out one of my art journals, and it really started out as I just want to put paint. I just got to put paint on the page. But it turned out to be a full art journaling page. It started off with red because of blood, surgery, hospitals. The clock wound up in there because time is crazy, and there's a sticker there of a dog on like a runaway train. I was digging through my stickers and found a wonderful collection of circus stickers that are probably circa 1980s, and decided, man, life is a circus. And I gave myself permission to play, and this is what came out of it. You know, I wasn't thinking this is what it was going to look like. It was stage by stage, background colors, then some doodles, like a Diane Reevely kind of doodle, white marker, black marker. And after I played with looking for stickers and ephemera, piecing it together and just voicing my thoughts about how life is a circus, all the pretty colors, right? They like to distract you, juggling things and time, a balancing act. So that was the day after. So it was very much a good letting go of my frustrations and thoughts. In the middle of all this, a video that I'm hoping to put out for you soon, I had planned with my new artist friend Natalie to put together an art journaling workshop where I was facilitating a day-long workshop showing people the joys of art journaling. And the surgery was like right before that weekend, and there was a little stress about being able to, is she going to be discharged? Is she not going to be discharged? But kind of in a loving way, making the statement that this workshop had been planned for and was something I've been dying to do, and that it was going to be done, and we were going to figure something out if she was discharged. And the workout was a success. It was great. During the workshop, I was, well, first of all, being a facilitator, you don't get to play as much. Plus, I had all that stuff in the back of my mind, but I did manage to squeak out a couple of, using a Joker card. I thought the Joker would be appropriate for what was going on in my life, and rising above it all. Then just, well, there's a piece of ephemera went on the floor, but, just playing with some of the items I had out for the participants of that workshop. I promise I'll get that video out eventually because they all shared their book. What a blessing for them to be so open and willing to share their art journal. So please look for that. I will eventually post a card when that happens in the future. Okay, it got to a point where things were so crazy that I actually disappeared down here, not in the studio that you always see me in, and I had these homemade alcohol inks that I had made with Sharpies, where like you take apart the Sharpie and you stick it in the thing that holds all the ink and alcohol, and you create these alcohol inks, and I had made them probably in 2017. I really wasn't using them. So I really was in a bad place and I couldn't take it anymore. So I grabbed an old sketchbook that I haven't been using, and I just kind of started opening up pages and started throwing down these alcohol, like literally, pouring more than throwing. But really, just colors. And as I was doing it, and it was making some of these really fun orbs in there. Look how fun, right? I noticed off to the side here, I had at one point like bought this old pocket medical dictionary just because it's circa 1960. Somebody, you know, it was headed for the trash or recycling bin, that I started pouring these inks right into the book. I can't explain to you how freeing this is. I know my friend Natalie loves to do this expressive dance. Well, this was expressive, just laying down of ink. And as it dried later that night, picking up on the whole Diane Reevely vibe. Let's see if I can find the pages here. Yeah, sure. I started making some frames, taking stencils and just adding frames around the colors. This is one of my favorite ones. Look at that one. That one's fun. There's a little. And also, when I got, right, I eventually took the time to cover her blank dialogue book. I had planned this out in advance. You know, I started listening to meditations, thinking about happy thoughts, you know, good times, radiant and glowing, and then knowing that the cover was coming, I was planning out what the cover was going to look like. The one meditation I was listening to was showing a light bulb. And so I started just sketching the light bulb and trying to be in this thought, this place of creativity. And it's so funny, look inside the light bulb. It looked to me like a Muppet, like a female Muppet. So I was like the lady with the bright ideas, the genie in the bottle. Here's more Diane Reevely-ish, you know, fun and play in any small way every day, just doing doodles. But I finally received the delivery of, she creates these black journals where it's black pages and stencils, like just taking a stencil on the black page, right? I took a stencil and stenciled out all those little cubes and the heart, and then just doodled inside. Guys, I really can't express to you enough how healing this is. It's, a friend of mine said it's like coloring in the adult coloring books, right? For me as an artist, there was really nothing to design. You know, I picked the heart and I picked the cubes and then picked the doodles to do inside. And it's healing. It really is healing. I'm sure there's science behind it. This one, very therapeutic. It's really expressing the noise in the background. Like there was so much noise, you know, dizzying things and angry things and doubting things. So using the stencil to create a background and putting those little conversation bubbles, and all I wanted to focus on is that center, right? My days of hiking and being in nature and quiet and just listening to birds. This was being able to express my frustrations in a very artistic, healing way. So I appreciate you, Diane Reevely. My girlfriend, my high school girlfriend, Lisa, where you saw that video where I was painting her mother's dog, Rex, right? I was feeling cabin feverish, isolated, kind of locked into everything we were dealing with, that I called her up and It was 2.5 hours. You know how the phone tells you how long you've been on the phone with somebody? And she was cooking dinner and interacting with her family, but we basically had open airtime on the phone just so I could be with her. And we talked and we laughed while they were cooking. And I took this stencil and just made that and filled it in with the white, and where the white got sloppy, took black and tried to, you know, square off my gears with the black. 2.5 hours of golden friendship time with creativity in the background. Do what you got to do to find some sanity. I'm such a proponent for it because it's been so helpful in between the fatigue and the tears. Have I shared everything that I want to share with you? Wait, before I go, I forgot there was one more thing I wanted to show you. There was one morning recently where I woke up at 3 a.m. I was just wide awake at 3 a.m. You know, I went back to this book where I was just throwing down ink, and I decided to just find a page and start circling all the different bubbles and circles. But I found a face in there. Look at this page. How fun is this page? Yeah, I just saw a face in there. I pulled up Google images of a side profile just to help with reference, and she was already in there. I just kind of pulled her out. I just had to share because I surprised myself. There's probably so much more I could share, but 20 minutes is probably plenty of time to do a vlog. Guys, I love you. We can't control what happens around us, but we can control how we handle it. And, you know, I always say you don't have to be an artist, or maybe art journals isn't your thing. Maybe cooking is your thing, or dancing is your thing. But it's so important to find an outlet, to take a break, decompress. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching my channel and my videos. And I believe with the change of the seasons and it getting darker earlier and recuperation and wellness being more of a conversation now, I may get some more fun videos out. I appreciate you. Where's my microphone? Because I love you. Thank you. See you soon. I forget how to do soon. Bye.